Okay, welcome back to All in a Week Sports. It's been a rather somber last few days in the sports world with the passing of Jose Fernandez, the Miami Marlins ace that died in a tragic boat accident, and then, of course, the loss of Arnold Palmer, probably the most well-known golfer ever for what he did both on the course and off. And both of these guys have had a connection to our community. Guys, you're too young to remember certainly Arnold. Well, I'm too young to remember Arnold being in Jamestown, but in today's paper, Tuesday's Post-Journal, we ran a story of when Arnold Palmer appeared at Moonbrook Country Club in an exhibition match with Art Wall, another pro PGA member, and then a couple of local guys, Toby Lyons, who was a club pro at Moonbrook, and Ben Bishop, who was a member at Moonbrook, who was a 12 or 13-time club champ. And interestingly enough, guys, if you can believe it, I mean, now we get everything video instantly, but courtesy of our friend Greg Peterson, who's a member of this Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame, somehow he obtained video of these guys playing Moonbrook back in 1959. I don't know if you had a chance to check it out, but clearly it's a wonderful piece of video and something that we can treasure forever, because it's not often that you have somebody of that caliber just a couple miles from where we're sitting. And then, of course, we got the Fernandez tragedy. Guys, that's more contemporary to you. Did you guys watch any of the reports?
Last night, after they had the ceremony before the game, the Marlins' first game since the tragedy, and obviously D. Gordon goes up there with Fernandez's helmet on, takes a pitch in the right-handed batter's box, and then 2 pitches later he says the farthest ball he's ever hit. And I'm a hardcore Cardinals fan, watching them get blown out by the lowly Reds on the game cast, and immediately I thought, let's let the Marlins win the next 7 games and have them go to the playoffs, and who cares about the Cardinals at this point? It's just an awful story for the franchise and the team, but just how the players picked each other up last night, and it's so emotional, that at bat and the pregame and the postgame and the 7th inning stretch. And it's just sports is a small thing in the scheme of everything, but at times it becomes a big part in even getting over tragedies.
Cody, you worked with the Jammers a few years ago for a couple years?
I worked for one full season.
One full season.
Yeah, it was 2013.
Well, the cool thing about when we had the NYP League here was really, it was unknown at the time the players were here, but you kind of had an idea that Jose was going to be on a big league roster, and he got there pretty fast. Again, courtesy of Greg Peterson on Jose's one and only appearance in Jamestown. He took the mound, and we have about 3 minutes of video of his performance. And I'm sure if he were here, he would smile at the recall of that game, because you probably looked up his stats. Do you recall what he did in that game, even though that was 5 years ago?
Well, yeah, I think he got roughed up.
Yeah, oh yeah.
If I remember right.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
I think, really pretty bad. I think he pitched 2 1/3 innings, gave up 4 or 5 runs, 5 hits, walked 3. Struck out 4, I think, something like that.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at it, a lot of those players on the Marlins have a connection back here in Jamestown. I mean, Marcelo Ozuna played a full season here, I think, and watching it, and I know I played baseball, throughout a couple of years in college, and you're like a family with those guys. And obviously those Marlins players are like a family, and they lost a big part of that family in Jose Fernandez, who was one of the best and most electric pitchers in baseball. And it's a tragic loss, but it was nice to see the Marlins players rally together like that.
Yeah,
against the Mets last night.
Well, I didn't see it until late last night, but and you guys probably saw it at some point last night. But the pregame was really the Marlins. I tip my hat to what they did to memorialize Jose. They all gathered around the mound and put their hats on the mound, and then the trumpet played "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." And I think, when I watched that, I think I posted on Facebook last night that I went to bed with tears in my eyes. It was that impressive of a way to memorialize a really tragic situation. But it's interesting that the two folks that have been in the news here in the last few days have some connection, albeit brief, to our community, and I've had several comments about people had a connection to folks at Moonbrook when Arnie played here, and of course there's a number of folks that would have remembered Jose when he had his opportunity. The video was really neat because, Cody, as you know, they still do it. Matt, you've seen it, where the kids, little kids, accompany the player out to the position. So there was a little girl that stood on the mound with him as the national anthem was played, and so we have some memories of an older gentleman. Obviously, that his passing wasn't necessarily a shock, but certainly Jose's passing is, and it will be clearly. The Marlins did a great job of memorializing him.